Hi, this is Anais and welcome to my channel. This is an extended deep dive reading for Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. This is an opportunity for you to take some downtime and to tune into your own journey on the Sacred Union journey. My intuitive readings are only about the Sacred Union journey. I really don't cover, oh, there's a bird. I don't really cover issues of love and money and who's thinking what and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. I focus solely on the energies of Sacred Union and occasionally how soulmates figure into the process of the Sacred Union dynamic. So this is going to be a long reading. I will timestamp it. There are going to be 3 parts to the reading. The first part is general. The second part, we go into general and then flowing into the source energies that are supporting the union. Then I focus on Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, and we go from archetypal energies to the what's happening now in transition energies and drilling down into where some shadow elements may be in play, if there's anything blocking the union, and then where are we in our conscious co-creation, stewardship, energies working with Gaia and her elementals. So everything will be time-stamped. Sit back, enjoy. I pre-shuffle everything and then I just let the cards flow out in answers to the questions I have about what's really going on in Sacred Union, where is the Divine Masculine, where is the Divine Feminine, the transitions that we're in, and the energy that is flowing into our union from source and from our meta being and from higher dimensional realms. So if you haven't watched my video about how I do these intensive readings, these intuitive readings, take the time and watch that. If this reading does not resonate for you, click off, leave it alone. If it does resonate for you and you've gained some insight or understanding from it, please do like, share, and comment, and subscribe. I also want to invite you to a next episode 2 of Meeting the Beloved in Sacred Union. That's going to be happening tomorrow. It's one of our monthly pop-up events on my Patreon page, and it will cost you $1 to get into it, but it's going to be well worth your time. And you'll discover more things about my Patreon page that I don't have time to go into here or to load up my description page. If you'd like a personal reading with me, the information will be below. Again, I am offering this as an extended intuitive reading without you having to buy the extended version of the reading. So this is my gift to you for the weekend, and I hope that it will serve you well. I've done the meditation on the cards. I was up very early this morning in meditation, and so if you're ready, I'm ready, and let's begin. All right, we're going to begin the reading with where are personality elements operating today for both the feminine and for the masculine. On the feminine side, we begin with Nightingale. And Nightingale is the beautiful card of being grounded and learning how to sing your own soul song. So this is where the Divine Feminine is at the time of this reading. She has gotten herself grounded. She is singing her soul song, and she's singing it loud and clear so her Divine Masculine can hear her, and so Source can hear her as well. Next, we have out for the Divine Feminine, the Lamb. And this is a reminder that we are to bring a gentle touch to our union journey. We are no longer sacrificial lambs. We may be lambs that are lying down with the lion, but that's as far as it goes. So remember to bring a gentle touch. This is again a grounded energy, and we're here, the Divine Feminine is presenting with the energy of air and using her throat chakra, and here the energy of groundedness, being an earth embodied being who is aware of when she's grounded, when she's singing her soul song. She can come forward with her gentle lamb energy because she's very, very safe, and she's able to protect herself, and she's protected by Source and Gaia and by her Divine Masculine. Now next out, we have out for the Divine Feminine, the Wheel. And if you've been watching my readings for the last couple of days, you know that I did a reading on forgiveness. And as part of that forgiveness process, the Divine Feminine is actively removing any karmic wheels that are presenting obstacles or that are blocking the union. And that's the intense energy work that she is doing at the current time. Now over on the Divine Masculine side, we have the Eagle. And this is having an extraordinarily high viewpoint and perspective. And the eagle is a very fast-moving bird. It can dive down. It can see things. It can see a fish underwater from very high up. And it knows what it's about. And it is incredibly intention. Intention is the energy of this particular card for the Divine Masculine today. It is an air card. And in that, we have the Divine Masculine and the Divine Energy are mirroring each other. The Divine Feminine is grounded and singing her song. The Divine Masculine is listening and perhaps following her guidance about where to go and look for the next bits of information and energy that are going to sustain the Divine Masculine on his part of the journey as he's learning how to manage his own energies. Next we have out for the Divine Masculine, the Owl. And the owl energy we associate with wisdom. It's also an animal that we associate with the element of air. But unlike the eagle, the owl operates at night. And the owl has a 360-degree view by swiveling its incredible little head that just can go around in a circle. So here we have the Divine Masculine operating in day and night energy, and also being comfortable to operate in his shadow now. He's become comfortable. He can see the things within him that are operating in shadow, and he's begun to take those processes on consciously. He's no longer avoiding his shadow or the emotions that he finds and feels in shadow. All right, then we have out for the Divine Masculine, we have the King of Chalices. Excuse me, a little bit of a scratchy throat this morning. We have the King of Chalices, and here he is sitting. In this particular image, it looks as if his cup is empty because he's given it. He's given out that unconditional love. He's shared that love, and he's looking very happy and content at having been able to make that choice. So he's drunk from it himself, and he's possibly shared it with someone else. And in the traditional tarot, this is the offer of love and a king level. This is someone who is grounded and stable and secure and has emotional intelligence. If he has not yet developed his emotional vocabulary where he's able to express his feelings, he's on his way to being able to express his feelings, not only in actions, but also in words. And his words and actions and feelings and intentions are all in alignment with his sacred union journey. Now, interestingly, we had a second King of Water come out for this reading. And I feel this reflects the very powerful process that the Divine Masculine has gone through as he burst into and made his breakthrough into joy, having shed the shackles of the patriarchal male and the distorted masculine. And here you can see he's focused on what is it like to be able to have a connection to his own feeling life. And he looks very curious and interested and quite happy. This is a part of his nature that he's completely ready, willing, and able to now explore. So it's interesting that we have the King of Water, or the King of Chalices, out twice. The Divine Masculine is in his feelings. Okay, now that's just the general layout of the reading, where the energies are operating at the personality level in the current energies. Next, I'm going to go, where is Source, and how is Source supporting the energies of the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine in the current energies. Here we have My Dear Friend and Weaving Flowers. Now, for me as a reader, this card, Weaving Flowers, is a reflection of the Divine Feminine fully in balance, fully expressing herself in a balanced way, and she is weaving multidimensional information into her union and into her daily life. And her emotional bodies and subtle bodies are working together. She's in etheric union with her Divine Masculine, and this information is being shared between the two of them with all this kind of fabulous antenna that she has, and she's weaving these flowers that are coming from her sacral area and her sacred sensuality, and she's bringing this beautiful grounded energy up into her crown and weaving her meta-being information into her daily life. Now on the masculine side, we have the Divine Feminine sitting astride this very strong and supportive masculine energy that is willing to carry her wherever she feels they need to go next. And she's also willing to allow him to choose their direction. So this is a very balanced energy, but again, it's very grounded. And this is a reflection of the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine in the material world. This is their spiritual dynamic. This is their material dynamic. He is willing to carry her. She is willing to bring in the information from the meta being and distribute it as it needs to be shared within the union between masculine and feminine energy. Now, as you know, when I use the word masculine and feminine, I am not referring to gender. Okay, so however you identify, you go for it. All right, now next we have out the fairy who was kissed by the pixies. This is all about coming into the delicious, delicious, delicious energy of love, and more love. And that's for the Divine Masculine. And on this side, we have the singer of the chalice, which is also about unconditional love and co-creating with unconditional love. So once again, these two are a beautiful reflection of the energy that's coming from Source. This side for the Divine Masculine, this side for the Divine Feminine. And these cards are mirroring each other. This is 21 and this is 12. So this is an overflowing abundance of unconditional love informing and the experiential side of the union and becoming the basis for the experiential side of the union as we learn to let go of and come out of our solar plexus energy, which has been a limiting factor in the 7 chakra system for eons. It's an overlay and it is being blown up. So some of you may have experienced in the last week some digestive upset. You may have what you may have thought of was a stomach flu, when what was really going on was your 3rd chakra is being blown up, transformed, and transmuted so that the overlays are being dissolved, the miasms and the limiting thought patterns and belief systems are being completely deconstructed and dissolved, and the information that you need to retain about your identity is being shared with your other energy centers. And the last energy that we have coming from Source is patience. Patience. It takes time to create change. The 14 breaks down to a 5. This is about having the patience to just know that you are, as a conscious co-creation as a conscious co-creator in sacred union, have the patience to trust the journey. You have the patience to trust the journey. You don't have to hurry. You don't have to worry. Then next out, we're going to go to the divine masculine side of the dynamic, because the divine masculines in the last few cycles of energy have been through a major radical shift. They have come into a sense of how to be in their feeling life. So what we have here, I'm going to set this card aside for a minute. What we have here first is the divine feminine in her energy, weaving flowers of meta being information and doing it with love and unconditional love and patience. She is supporting the divine masculine in this transformation process that he is coming through, and he is integrating it even as he is coming undone in his third chakra, and it's being blown up. So any attachments he's had to an egoic, competitive identity that's based on scientific compartmentalization, ivory tower academia, all of those are being transformed so that they can function in balance with intuition and be expressed through a spiritual flow coming directly from being source sparked. And here is the source sparked energy being held in the hand of the divine masculine as his feminine is holding space for him to come through his tower moment of coming into his feelings and transforming his mental body. His third chakra is the stargate to his mental body, and that is literally being blown up. Here it is, blown up in his hand. He's looking at it and he's going, I can't believe I thought that. I can't believe I made those assumptions. I can't believe that I operated solely from having my feelings compartmentalized and tucked into myself and only letting them out when I have the divine feminine to be the expression of my emotional energy and my emotional life. What a burden I have put on her. So he's coming out of this now. This is an incredible shift for the divine masculine. Okay, so then supporting him in this experience is his emotional body coming in and aligning with all of his other subtle bodies and saying, you know what, bro? We've got to work together. We have to be emotions informing intellect, not intellect controlling emotions. It's a very different dance of co-creation. So here he is, and he's working on it, and he's integrating it. It's a very powerful experience. And this last week in particular has been very intense because divine masculine has had to recognize where he has agreed to allow himself to be emotionally compartmentalized, constrained, and kept from experiencing the delicious emotional fulfillment of having his emotional vocabulary available in such a way that he can communicate this with this woman. And he no longer needs her to be in implicit energy. She can come forward with her intellectual capacity and shine because she's bringing heart into reason. And he is now bringing heart into balance with his reasoning self and bringing that into his work life, into his professional life, and into his relationship life. This is a beautiful, beautiful process of transformation. Okay, so that's where that's going. And then on top of that, we have the fairies of the future, which are saying, it's time. It's time for you, divine masculine, to go for it and feel the delicious, delicious emotional satisfaction that's coming into your life because you have allowed your third chakra energy and that portal to be released so that it's no longer controlling your bliss flow in your central channel and the connection between you, Source Gaia, and all of your mental energies that are part of consciously co-creating. And they're necessary and you need them. But those processes need to be informed by the energy of unconditional love and heart resonance. All right, now over on the Divine Feminine side, I'm going to set Sylvanus aside for a moment. First out we have Queen of Air, and of course she is the counterpart to the King of Air. So the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine are on the same page this week in clearing out the clutter that may have been causing confusion within their union. They're bringing their own wisdom and grounded clarity into how they're communicating with each other. And they're communicating from the heart. And they're communicating with patience. And they're communicating with a sense of being completely tapped in on both the spiritual level and meta being level. I need more hands, I need bigger hands. And being tapped in so that they can manifest their union on the physical level and begin to co-create with their mission work together or separately. Or individually, I should say. They're not going to be doing that in separation. Okay, so here we have the Divine Feminine, Queen of Air. She's holding this energy. And all of this source energy is informing how the next card out for her is the Queen of Earth. So here we have air and earth, just as here in the Divine Feminine, in the personality level. This is at the archetypal energetic level. And at the personality level, we also have air and earth in balance and operating with a great deal of power and clarity and unconditional love. She's been holding space for the Divine Masculine as he has been going through this very, very amazing radical shift and translation of his own emotional insight and experience on his side of the dynamic. The next out, we have the Empress. So the Divine Feminine has been in Empress mode for, quite some time now, and she's getting comfortable with it. And in Empress mode, she is well able to support her Divine Masculine as he's coming into his transformational journey with his emotional body and moving into unconditional love and having his heart chakra be fully open to all the world, to fully open to letting go of his assumptions and misperceptions about his Divine Feminine and about life and about who he is. This is a very, very dramatic opening, and boy, is he really working intensely right now. And as the Empress, she is holding this space for him so that he can do this, because in many ways you could think that the Divine Masculine, in a way, he's having his world blown up right now. His third chakra blowing up is a big deal because it's been the obstacle, and it's been what has mediated his sexual energy. And instead of allowing that sexual energy to open his heart, that sexual energy for many a Divine Masculine has been simply a vehicle for physical gratification and not a vehicle for opening into deeper and unconditional love. So here we have the Queen of Air and the Queen of Earth out focused and stepping up and supported by the complete balance of themselves within the whole Empress dynamic. The Empress is all the queens, earth, air, water, and fire. But in the current energies, it is the Queen of Earth and the Queen of Air that are working together. And as the Divine Masculine has gone into his tower experience, which is his third chakra blowing up and him opening into a clearer understanding of who he is, within the dynamic of sacred union, the divine feminine has gone within. And as she's gone within, you can see here, there are the keys to all the portals that everyone is working through this weekend. This is a 9. This is a number of completion. And here you see this face. So she's gone within to be able to support the divine masculine traveling into his tower experience and holding space for him and being quiet. And she's not in a demanding place. She's not demanding his attention. She's feeling very safe and secure about the union. And she's only tapping into him if there's something that she really can't handle on her own. And so he's very, very well able to attend to this breakthrough in his own experience, because his divine feminine will meet him there whenever he needs her. And when he doesn't need her, she is in her own energy with healthy boundaries, simply holding space for him in patience while he sorts himself out. Now, Sylvanus came out, and Sylvanus is taking off the mask of ego to be in truth. This is the sword of truth. You can see again, this is the 3rd chakra energy here that is being lit up with the truth of being in alignment with the higher self and the meta being. And in this reading, I'm actually seeing Sylvanus as the co-creation, the child of truth, honesty, transparency, humility, vulnerability, and unconditional love. This is the child of the Queen of Air and the King of Air. And he's fully ready to serve. And he's in balance, and he's in bliss and harmony, and he's doing this within the context of nature. He's experiencing this part of his truth, transparency, and trust within the context of embodied reality. He's not just thinking his way through this experience. He's feeling his way through it. Very, very beautiful. So that's what the divine feminine is holding right now. She is holding, here she is, bringing all of this and holding it steady while he's taking off his masks of competition, his mask of having to be better than, his mask of dominance, of dominating the feminine, of thinking that he's going to control where she goes and what she does, instead of supporting her, and the two of them working to reach their destination together. And she's free to walk beside him, to hop off, to walk behind him, to walk in front of him, and the two of them are in flow together in the earthly plane. And they're getting their earthly plane act together. It's part of their mission work. It's part of the energy flow too that they're sending back to source. So I really think this is such a gorgeous card, and this is a very, very beautiful card to come out for the Divine Feminine today. Now, the next thing I've done is I've gone and, after having shuffled and meditated, these are the cards that literally came right off the top of the deck as I was going through and allowing the reading to flow. First out, for the Divine Masculine, we have the Piper. And this is the feeling of the call of the future that is possible, of incredible co-creativity, passion, sensuality, and having this come into the physical reality as part of the transformation of the Divine Masculine, opening up into his emotional expression. So he is now, while the Divine Feminine was out with her nightingale song, grounded and singing loud so that her Divine Masculine could hear her voice, the Divine Masculine is now doing the same. He is calling clear and loud so that the Divine Feminine can hear his voice in the union. And that may be an indication that some telepathy will be part of the union experience. It's quite common for that to be the case. Next out, we have soulless. So here we have another pair. We have this incredibly brilliant, lit up sun energy that is shifting from the solar plexus to the heart in the connection with source. And this beautiful clarity, she's in her magnetic mode, he's in his electric mode, and they are both working on the side of the divine masculine in his incredible transformation process right now. Then next out we had Mike the Myomancer. This is about attending to the details. So once your third chakra world has blown up, once you're feeling the authenticity of your soul purpose calling to you, and you're able to share that call with your divine feminine, and when you have come into your clear, lit up emotional intelligence and power as a unconditionally loving masculine energy, then it's time to attend to the details of the union. How are we going to come together? What's the physical union going to surprise us and flow into? What will we be doing? What will be our mission work together and individually? And how will we be functioning within the collective that is transforming and moving and living in fifth dimensional energies and beyond? Now, interestingly, we have all of this energy supporting what shows up next. We have the Bodacious Bodak, and in this side for the divine masculine, there is someone or some dynamic in his environment that is sabotaging or attempting to sabotage the union. And so while he's in his feelings and wanting to enjoy his feelings about his relationship with his divine feminine, there is someone in his environment that wants to block, stall, or disrupt the union. And it's the divine masculine's task to shine a light on that and recognize, who is that person? Who is doing that? Who is this person or persons in my environment who don't understand the sacred union dynamic, who poo-poo me when I talk about where I am in my own journey, and who may or may not approve of if I've identified and I'm in relationship with my divine feminine, they may have a counter agenda with who that chosen person is in my life, who that person is in my life and in my soul experience. Now, there are going to be reasons for this, and they can often be old karma that hasn't yet cleared. And this is what the divine feminine is working on. She's working on, okay, we got to clear it out of the union. We got a third wheel in here or a fifth wheel in here. This isn't working for us. It's unstable. It's causing our union to be unstable. And I'm going to go after it. I can feel it. I can find it. And I'll come through you on your side. And I will hold space for you to work this out and to not interfere with you while you're figuring out what has to happen. This is the energy of a meddler. And it's very much about sabotage. So from the shadow point of view, we could be looking at, for the divine masculine, what shadow elements are still at work in him, that he is having that energy reflected back to him in his physical environment by a person, an opportunity, or a thing that is about disrupting the union. Okay. And lastly, for the divine masculine, we have Luathus, the wild. Now, this is all about wild, creative, free, dynamic expression. So once this energy has been cleared out of the union, then Luathus, the wild, can come in and do his fiery energy thing. Now, one of the things that can happen is if that Luathus aligns with this energy, instead of the energy being clarified and this obstruction being removed, these two can form a chemical chain reaction that will really disrupt the union, because the saboteur could push Luathus the wild into his version of his shadow dynamics, which is when he rushes, he's in a hurry, and he's not able to find the patience that Source is encouraging him to find within to keep the union steady and strong and moving forward. So there's some really interesting work that's happening on the divine masculine side, and the divine feminine is all over it. She's like, slow down, buddy. Slow down, not so fast. Who's that? Who's that over there? What's that? What's happening there? How is that interaction between the two of you affecting our union? Could be anybody. Could be a boss, could be a parent, could be a relative, could be a sibling, could be an ex. Because one of the key processes in the sacred union journey is anyone you have been sexually intimate at any time, and I'm talking about all your past lives, if they have not been your sacred union counterpart, those energies are being cleared out. And some of them are not happy about that. Okay. You may be going through some of this right now. Alrighty, which is why it's up in this reading. So now, on the divine feminine side, the first card out is the Topsy-Turvets, and this is all about, wow, looking at things from an entirely different perspective. This is a genius image, because any way you turn this, things are being seen from a different vantage point. And that's what this card encourages us to do, is be open to new perspectives. Be open to seeing things from a different point of view. This is really fun, and it's in a light-hearted way. Don't take yourself too seriously. Just quickly pop over to the other side of the dynamic and look at it from that perspective. And pop over into that perspective and see if you can bring unconditional love not only into your sacred union and your relationship with Source, but into your everyday environment with your coworkers, with your friends. Can you offer them the gift of unconditional love, of seeing things from their perspective? Give it a try. Next out we have Honesty. Oh, I love this card. This card feels to me like a self-portrait. Because when you come into sacred union and you're on the journey and you're coming nearer to physical union, you are being rewired. Your entire neurological social network system is undergoing a massive transformation so that you can function in truth, transparency, trust, and intimacy. This is required for conscious co-creation. And it's really a workout, but this is part of the deal. So do you feel like this right now? You may be purging. If you haven't, and the divine feminine, if your third chakra hasn't blown up yet, it could be on its way. And once that's moved out of your energy field and transformed and transmuted, you're going to be open to levels of honesty about yourself, honesty about who you are in the world, honesty about what works for you and doesn't, honesty about what you really need for healthy boundaries. You're being rewired. Top to bottom, bottom to top. And in this rewiring, you're going to be transmitting all the information that is part of what you'll be sharing with a collective. This is just wonderful, but it can be a little bit hair-raising when you're first going through it. Then next we have, Abona's wild daughter. This is madness. This is instability. This could be bipolar energy. And if you're someone who's working as a conscious co-creator, you may have had experience in your life with bipolar energy, with tremendous highs and lows, because your third chakra was in the way of having you balance your subtle energy bodies. So you may be going through this highs and lows and feeling up and down and out of control, and not necessarily in a constructive way as you're being rewired. So is there anything else I want to say about Abona's wild daughter? Just be aware that your dreams and in your daily life, be aware of when you're feeling yourself coming unglued. And when you're coming unglued, you've got allies. You've got the Turvets, you've got honesty, you've got the sword of truth, taking off your mask to uncover things in shadow that may be disrupting your energy flow. And you have the Empress backing you up. So you can always take the moment to go within and figure this out as a process that involves only you. Don't bring it to your partner. And if you're bringing it into the union, bringing into the union as a request for healing. Okay, then we have more shadow work with the Glenn Conner. This is the used car salesman. This used car salesman is the antithesis of this guy. Look at these two guys together. Look at them. Just take a really deep breath and look at the difference in the energy here. This is the energy of the dysfunctional, what do we want to call him? The distorted masculine. And within us, within the divine feminine. And this guy messing with this will create chaos in our lives and will make the union unstable, will unbalance our energies. And so we've got to take responsibility for managing these dynamics, these shadow dynamics. And, you know, they may not be a big deal anymore. You may just sort of notice when you're feeling out of sorts and you can't quite put your finger on why, and you've got to take some time and go within and figure it out. And then lastly, we have the undressing of a salad. Now imagine that activity. Imagine getting salad dressing off of every bit of your salad. It would seem like an impossible task. And that's what this card represents. It is being the impossible, doing the impossible. And so you may feel, if you've been taking care of this work in the past week and uncovering oaths and curses in your inner shadow work with your soul group and with your past life work, you may feel like, I don't know how to do this. But if you are in truth, transparency, and trust, and you are relying on these energies to support you, you will know exactly what to do in the moment, and you will be able to do it with a gentle touch. A loving touch for yourself and a loving touch for whoever you're dealing with. That is the yes process. So here you are, divine feminine. You're doing this while the divine masculine is in his tower moment. You're undressing the salad of whatever is coming up out of his tower moment. This is how the two of you are strengthening your union. All right. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper, just a little bit, because I have the call, I have Gaia. I like Gaia to be present in this reading. And so for me, that is the call. We are, all of us in the sacred union journey, we are responding to Gaia's distress call. She's very much in distress, as we all are very well aware of right now. And when we come into our capacity as conscious co-creators, we're taking responsibility for the mess that we've contributed, how we've contributed to the mess that we're all in. So Gaia has a call. She's putting out that call, and star seeds and light workers are responding to her call and to the call of Source. And the first energy that comes out is the element of fire. Now you can see there's not a lot of fire in this reading. The only other real fire we have here is showing up in solace and in transformation on the divine masculine side. So we need this fire. in balance, to keep ourselves in balance with all of the elementals in this time frame. Next up, we have the Ace of Water. And this is where the Divine Feminine, in her undressing of the salad, in her truth, transparency, and trust, is able to go within when she needs to really feel the value of her worth within all of conscious co-creation, and really appreciate the deep work that she has been doing in alignment with her divine masculine, and really appreciate this relationship, right? Where she's gone from something, her emotional expression has caught the interest now of the divine masculine, and he's seeing it for what it is, an absolute treasure. A treasure. And that for eons, the divine feminine has been burdened with managing the emotional bodies of men, assuaging them, cajoling them, appeasing them. And part of the divine masculine's journey right now in the Tower energy is recognizing how he has not appreciated the emotional intelligence and the intuitive vibrancy of the divine feminine energy within him and within his partners, right? And especially in his sacred union partner. So this is very precious that this energy is out now, and we're answering the call from Gaia to really appreciate the tremendous intelligence, wisdom, and capacity for the water element. This planet is 70% water. We're 70% water. Do you think this matters? I think it does. Then next out we have the Ace of Air. Now we have a lot of air energy in this reading, but this is again, we can look at the King of Air, the Queen of Air, the Ace of Air, truth, transparency, and trust. And here we have Sylvanus, their progeny, right? Sylvanus is grounded, but he's also able to fly with the truth of clarity of thought. Okay, so this is again quite beautiful coming out. For the elementals are asking us to remember what the Ace of Air is about. It's about not only allowing ourselves to be in truth, transparency, and trust, but to broadcast truth, transparency, and trust through our physical embodiment, and that is the last card. That's the Ace of Earth. This is, and here again I love this because you can see on this card you have this gorgeous stag, and here is the unity, the Trinity. We have Source, we have Divine Feminine, and we have Divine Masculine, and here they are in their grounded physical embodiment. And this is again, the Divine Masculine is taking on this energy, as is the Divine Feminine, in moving forward in sacred union. So this energy is very powerful right now because we are embodying our unions now. We are physically embodying the energy of our sacred union. And that is what is going to enable us to move forward in our soul purpose and mission. Doesn't matter what your mission is. It doesn't have to be some super great thing that everybody's going to read about in the newspaper. It doesn't have to be that at all. It has to be how you, in your unique way, in a way that feels so emotionally, spiritually, and in whatever way you want to think about who you are in the world, satisfying to you, knowing that you're answering this call. that you've heard this call and you're answering it with what you do with your daytime, nighttime, and your relationships. So this is where we bring Gaia and Source into how we are working with Earth's elementals, with Gaia's tools with which we co-create, because we're learning to do this consciously. And when you become a conscious co-creator, you become very aware that you are in a dynamic, beautiful, and powerful working relationship with Gaia and her elements. And we need this right now because we have to understand how we have damaged the environment that we're living in, and how we can become part of correcting that damage where possible, and how we can at least stop doing more damage. Anything from perhaps outlawing vaping for young adults, to banning plastic shopping bags, to encouraging our cities to have electric powered buses. We have to take on the responsibility for using the resources that remain here in a responsible and loving way, and we have to learn how to share them. Okay, so then there was one last card that popped out. I wasn't expecting it, but this is and it's the Emperor. So while this reading was in formation, and while the energies were coming through for me to talk about and get the cards showing up in the way that they did, we have had the Divine Masculine moving into his Emperor energy. And he's moving into his Emperor energy from a place of feeling. He is feeling himself as an Emperor. And then, of course, that makes that we have sacred union in the mental body, and we have sacred union in terms of Emperor and Empress. It's happening. So we're going from the idea of sacred union into the experience of sacred union. Okay, so that is the conclusion of the reading today. I hope that it has resonated for you. If it has, please do like, share, and comment. And be sure to go onto my Patreon page, the link is in the description, and join us for the next Sacred Union Meeting the Beloved online event. And then lastly, what we have here, what came out as guidance cards, was with all this tremendous work that we have transitioned through. And some of us are really recognizing that there's maybe more to do, but this is not going to take months or years. We're down to weeks and days. And for the Divine Masculine, it's imagine being in union with your Divine Feminine, and the two of you exchanging your sacred gifts and sharing them with the world. Okay, so thanks very much for stopping by, and this is Anais, and I'll see you next time.